Hi, this is Digital Lady Sid. This week I wanted to do just a short video on how to create these layer style borders and frames that are really easy to do. I know a lot of the plugin software such as Topaz and On1 Effects have some great frames that are just one-click things or a couple things, and that's a really good way to go. But if you want to just add a little clean finish to your image, it's really nice to be able to add something using just a simple layer style in Photoshop. So let's get going here. First thing you need to do is create a stamped layer on top, which is the claw or the Control-Alt-Shift-E, and double click on that layer and it brings up the layer style dialog. And here's mine right here. I'll put that in the middle actually so we can see it here. Now the one I'm currently using has the inner shadow and the inner glow in it, but we're going to recreate this and I'm going to show you some other things you can do with this. So we're going to do show all effects, and first I'm going to show you what happens when you just add the inner glow. Right now I've got a purple color selected from before. So one of the things I want you to notice is what happens when you use the choke. The choke really adds a nice little bevel effect there, so you might want to play around with that a little bit. Make your size bigger, your choke large or smaller. Gets a very interesting effects there. Another thing that can be done here is, oops, here we go. You can change the colors real easy. Apparently some people do use, and you can sample, by the way, when you click on the swatch, you can actually sample in your image to get a different color. So if I do that there, that changes that. That's really nice. You can go with a black if you want to. Just go down here and click it to black. Get a nice just black frame if you want. Set your choke all the way up to 100 and you just get a real sharp edge on it. So this is really easy to do. You can change the contours down here. Check what happens when you change a contour. That gave me a black line around there, which I really liked. And you can change the size of that line, or edge where the line goes, I should say. It is pretty handy to use here if you just play around with these sliders and everything. Okay, now I don't use the gradient on this because I find that's kind of, it just doesn't work for when I've tried it before. Another thing, you can add the inner stroke into it. Let's go back and set this to like a more standard result here. And if I go into the inner stroke, you've got distance and very similar settings here. Your choke is also very important. You can make it soft edges, hard edges. You could change the size of it, make it just a little edge, black edge showing through and I find the inner shadow and the inner glow work really well together. Okay, another thing that you can do that's sort of interesting is if you turn these off, and let's go into the stroke. And stroke actually does a whole lot for this. I mean, obviously you can just do a size and make a nice black stroke inside. It's okay to do. But if you look down here at your fill types, you can change your fill types to different things. So if we go into the gradient, and we want to make a gradient, let's do a gradient, let's choose one here that might work. There we go. You can change your actual gradient itself by dragging on these or changing the colors in the gradient itself. So we just made a different looking one. And what you can do here is to change, whoops, I gotta say okay on that. You can change the gradient to, style to linear, radial, but the one that's really cool here is something called the shape burst, which is the only place you can find shape burst is in the stroke panel here. And it gives some really nice effects here. If you make your size quite a bit bigger, you can see what effect the shape burst is doing. As opposed to the linear. See, the linear makes that, the darks down the bottom, it actually goes with what you're seeing. then the radial, you'll probably have no change because the gradient's on the inside of the image. And then if you go down here to the shape burst though, and let's click back on this again and try a totally different, so you can get a totally different effect here by using these different colors and things. So I thought that was pretty cool, and that's a way to get a totally different look on your image. So, and again, like I did before, you can go in and go into the stops and edit them and change the colors again, and you'll get a whole different look. So this is kind of fun to do, and I encourage you to try that. Another thing that you can do here real quick is to go into patterns, and what you can do is just choose one of your patterns. As you can see, I keep a zillion patterns in my pattern box. I love all these ones that are watercolor looks and everything, so I use them a lot on different things. So I do use layer styles actually quite a bit, so this is something you want to kind of continue doing. And what you can do with that is this makes that kind of, which I say, wide pattern look, and you combine that with like an inner shadow, or let's see, inner glow. Let's see what we could do with one of these things. And you can get some, there we go, there it is. You can get some different looks again. So I encourage you just to go in here. You may not realize all this is here, but it's really handy and very, very easy to do. And you might find that you can make some really nice patterns. And if you like one, you just click the new style over here. I think I'll show you a couple that I have actually created. When I go in, when I double click on this, if I don't like this one, all I have to do, I can go up to styles, and I added in a new one not too long ago that was called the Shape Burst Border Style. And there's one I like, and I just put that right in there, and I say, okay. I can go into the stroke, and I can change that again. I can change one of these buckets and change a color in it again, and look, get a totally different look again. So it's kind of cool if you find one that you sort of like, and see how large you can make it. It almost has a frame look to it, which I really like. This is just a really easy way to get some interesting looks, and it's very simple. So that is basically what I wanted to show you. I have canned some layer styles, so if you wanted to download them from DeviantArt, I've got the link for you. And let me show you what one of those looks like. Go up here under styles, and one of them is this double frame. And then once you get one like this, all you have to do is double click on it, and you can change the colors again. And you don't have to use what you have there, but it gives you a place to start. So that's a nice look there. So you can say okay, and there's another frame. So if you want to keep following me, you can continue coming to sidspics.wordpress.com or to my tidbits blog at digitalladysid.com. And next, I will have links to the blog so that you can see. I have a lot of this written down, and if you have any questions on what some of the sliders represent, I have info on that. So see you later. Bye.